One thing, and just one thing, may make the difference between a happy retirement and a stressful retirement. What is that one thing? We'll talk about it coming up next on Your Money Matters, presented by the Presley Group.
And welcome back to Your Money Matters, your weekly peek inside the complex financial world. You listen to the show so you can retire with peace of mind. And what better people to tell you about that than Christy Smith, president of the Presley Group, and Matt Kennedy. Christy and Matt are experts at helping you plan for a successful retirement. They teach their clients how to position their retirement money to avoid losses due to stock market conditions. They have helped hundreds of clients achieve their retirement goals, and they can help you. Here are your hosts for Your Money Matters, Matt Kennedy and Christy Smith.
Good morning and welcome to Your Money Matters here on Talk 107.3 FM. Matt Kennedy and Christy Smith, the owner, founder, president of the Presley Group. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Got a lot to talk about. It's been a wild and woolly week in the stock market. What was it? Was it Wednesday maybe? The stock market went up like 80 points and then dropped 160. I mean, this is the wildest, wooliest stock market. The Japanese market is way down. The American markets don't know what to do, and a lot of people are probably scratching their heads saying, man, what do I do?
Well, and I can tell you that the phones have been ringing a lot more at the office, and actually we've had several people just stop in because, you know, when you start to see the stock market going up and down like it has been doing, it reminds people of what happened, you know, in 2007, 8. And you know, they all remember the pain. You know, you try to forget the pain when the market's doing well and you're recovering. But, you know, the first little sign of weakness, we see people are concerned again. And they're starting to look for other options. You know, they don't want to experience the pain that they went through.
Absolutely.
You know, they don't want to have to change their retirement date because the stock market went down.
I'm glad you said retirement date. Here's a great article. Let's get right into this article. You know, we both love to read MarketWatch.com, and article that popped up, want to retire, stop chasing returns. Great article. Want to retire, stop chasing returns. Here's what he writes. When you're in the accumulation stage of life, I've heard you mention that word 1,000 times.
Oh, yeah.
But when you're in the accumulation stage of your life, investment returns are very important considerations for your goals. Once you retire, however, you live on income. You don't live on investment returns. So unless you acknowledge this basic fact and change your mindset from a return chaser to an income accumulator well before you plan to retire, you increase the risk of outliving your assets. And he said, buddy, that's a hard habit to change.
Well, we see that it's absolutely a hard habit to change by, you know, people that come in and meet with us. The first thing they say is, I don't want to lose my money. And the second thing they say is, how much am I going to make? You know, I mean, they definitely still think that you have to take risk in order to reap a reward. And the reality is that, you know, that's the old economy. You know, we can do so much better than that now. We've got all these hybrid accounts that can create these guarantees that simply allow you to quit chasing the returns.
The article continues. For those of us in our 40s, 50s, and 60s, we want to plan for retirement, and we must gradually shift our focus from investment returns to income. A constant flow of sustainable income that will cover our expenses is essential, they write, for minimizing the possibility of outliving our assets. Unlike asset accumulation goals that are attained with, you know, returns, retirement is an open-ended proposition with many unknown variables. Boy, that's saying a mouthful. It's the mindset, though, Christy.
Yeah, it is.
Now, I will tell you, I came to work with you here in late 2008, and the mindset then was really, well, I want to make sure I get as much gain as possible and then leave as much money as possible to my kids. In 5 years, I would say our average client is 5 years younger now.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yes.
The average client who calls is 5 years younger, and they're not talking about how big of a rate of return can you give me. They're talking about how much income can I get when I retire? This fundamental mind shift it's happening.
Well, it's happening for a lot of different reasons, but I think the primary reason is that our baby boomer generation lives more in the spur of the moment. You know, they didn't sit down 10 years ago and think about planning for retirement. And you know, I am a Dave Ramsey fan, so I'm going to say many of them are still in debt. You know, it's not uncommon for a couple to come in and meet with me that is looking at retiring in less than 2-3 years, and they in the last 3-4 years purchased a home and have 70% mortgage on it. You know, so retirement income is becoming a lot more important, and let's face it, market conditions have really have really changed the future. We have to think things differently now because we're not seeing the returns in our accounts over a long average like we did 20 years ago.
Yeah. The article is called Want to Return, Stop Chasing. Want to Retire, Stop Chasing Returns. One more paragraph. An open-ended income plan, a base, if you will, a floor of income, is required to match the open-ended and uncertain nature of retirement. Due to the length of time for which this income may be needed, 20, 30, 40 years even, or more, depends on how long you live, we must acknowledge this when we're in our 40s and begin shifting our fixation on returns and shift it instead to income accumulation. I have never found an article that states so clearly what we do, Christy.
Well, and I mean, the thing is that more and more frequently we are starting to hear from economists that the A word, which is annuity, is not always a bad thing. When I got into this business, Matt, you know, it's been 16 years, and I can tell you that when someone that had not learned what an annuity could actually do for them, I would hear so many times, "Oh no, I can't even consider an annuity because annuities are bad." And even 5 years ago, when you came to work for me, I told you, I said, "Matt, your biggest obstacle is going to be teaching people that the A word is not necessarily a bad thing."
Well, because there's so many myths and misconceptions. I know my mom had an annuity, and it didn't do her right. It was a variable annuity, and she said, "Oh, son, annuities are bad." I said, "No, Mom, your annuity was bad because you thought you were safe from losing money in the market, and you weren't." Another big myth is, well, if I put my money into an annuity and I die, well, the insurance company is going to keep all of my money. My kids won't get it. That's not true either, not in the kinds of plans we're talking about.
No, and the thing is that now more and more often we're actually hearing economists state that you do need to rely on an annuity as a portion of your retirement planning. I mean, and the reason for that is because you want to create a solid floor. You know, when I taught you about building a strong plan, I always referenced a house. You know, I said if we build a very strong foundation, then, you know, it's going to be able to weather the storm. And so it really makes me feel good to read and hear that more and more economists are actually waking up and saying, hey, you know, you might want to consider an annuity in your retirement plan.
By the way, we offer a great brochure. It's called The Myths and Realities of Annuities. We'd like to offer that to you for free. It's a nice booklet. It's about 4 pages, and it has some of the most commonly asked questions about annuities and dispels a lot of myths and gives you the realities about what we do. If you would like one of those, simply call our office at 791-5773. Just dial us up, 791-5773, and Cheryl or Eva or Taylor, whomever's at the office, will take your call and get you one of those brochures mailed out. Now, if you're calling on Sunday morning, there's no one there, leave a message either with a phone number or an address, and we'll mail you one of these brochures out. It'll be a great starting point so that you can begin to understand the myths, the realities of annuities. And also, we have brochures that talk about retirement income. We could offer you one of those as well. I'm just so happy to see someone in the Market Watch report write an income base or an income floor is required to match the uncertain nature of retirement. I call it mailbox money. I think you do too.
Well, I call it your I can't mess up money.
Yeah, I like that too.
But I will tell you that, this article is right. I mean, more and more often when new clients come to our office and they're wanting to talk to us about their needs, which is what we typically do on the first visit, we're hearing more and more that the concern has now shifted away from I want to leave money to the kids to I want to make sure that I don't ever outlive this income. And so our fixed indexed annuity strategies that we work with at the Presley Group are really designed to create that guaranteed retirement income that you just can't outlive.
Can we give an example? I think, it's easy for us to sit here and talk terminology, but 4, maybe 5 different cases you and I have worked on together this week. And in each of the cases, the husband and wife said to us, we're going to retire X years down the road, and we have X amount of dollars saved up. Now, let's first talk about where that money comes from. In one case, the couple was in their mid-50s, and a substantial portion of the money that they had was an inheritance.
Yes, it's just sitting at the bank in CDs right now.
And they knew that at some point they're going to have to get better than the point-something% return they're getting now. And so they're saying, is there any way that we can count on this money being an income for us 6-7 years down the road?
Well, and the good thing is that because this money was inherited money, right now sitting in the bank, whether they're making 0.2% or even 4% a year, the fact is that income that they're making is still considered taxable income.
That's right.
So when you're making a less than 0.5%, and you have to claim it on your income taxes, and you're in a 28% tax bracket, you're really especially after you factor in inflation, you're really in the hole.
Absolutely.
To be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
And so this couple not only was looking for a solution to generate guaranteed income in just a couple of years, which will fly by, but we're also able to help them by saving them, some taxes now, because we're able to shift that money into a tax deferred mode versus a taxable mode.
But the numbers are powerful, because when you stop chasing returns and start counting on guarantees to get income, here's what it can look like. For this particular couple, no names, but we were able to take 2 different buckets of money, if you will, and we put $200,000 into one particular insurance company with a guaranteed rate of return, and we put another $200,000 into yet another insurance company, again with a guaranteed rate of return, guaranteed to be there to pay out an income for them. And I think we let that money grow for, wasn't it 6 or 7 years, I believe it was? I believe a 7-year growth to get them to their mid-60s. Well, when they start pulling that money out, we had generated for them a guaranteed monthly income from the 2 plans combined of about $2,100 a month.
Right.
And let me say, that is guaranteed. That's not a guess. Christy, that's a guaranteed retirement income for both of their lives.
Well, it is definitely the floor that that we're referencing here. I mean, you have to create a floor in your retirement plan, and that's exactly what they were looking to do. And not only were we able to create a guaranteed income for them further down the road, but Matt, we were able to they were able to decide, hey, I don't want to be at risk, because
Right.
they did have some of their money at risk. And they realized, hey, I don't have to be at that risk any longer. I don't have to be subject to market conditions. And that's one of the real valuable features of a fixed indexed annuity, is knowing when market conditions do take a turn, because we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know when is it going to go and stay down. I mean, we've seen ups and downs, but we don't know when it's going to just start going down and not come back for quite a while. And so this plan is going to allow them the growth potential that they need as they get so close to retirement, but yet it's eliminating all of the market risk. They do not have to worry about a market downturn. Just a few years from retirement. I mean, it's the peace of mind is really what it gives them. I mean, it just gives them such a strong peace of mind.
Well, the thing that I really loved in working with this couple with you is that we knew how much we could generate in guaranteed income from the companies we use. They knew how much they were going to be able to have for Social Security, and the two amounts combined exceeded their projected need by $100 a month. Now that's having a plan, because now they can put their head down on the pillow at night and know they've got a plan. Now, you may be saying, yeah, but hold on, I don't need retirement income. We'll come back in our next segment and talk about some of the strategies and plans that we have that will work if you don't need retirement income, but you're sick and tired of earning nothing at the bank. We'll talk about that when we come back. We are offering today a free brochure. Simply call us and ask for the Myths and Realities brochure. Myths and Realities about what we do, indexed annuities, and we'll mail that out to you. Simply call us at 791-5773, or you can email us. Just go to our website, safemoneyplan.net. That's safemoneyplan.net, or call us at 791-5773, and we always offer a free, no obligation retirement checkup, a chance for us to get together and just talk for an hour and find out how we can help you. Again, to schedule that, simply call us at 791-5773. We'll be back with more of Your Money Matters, presented by the Presley Group, in just a moment.
Good morning and welcome back to Your Money Matters, brought to you by the Presley Group. I'm Christy Smith, excited to be here with you this morning. I'm joined with my co-host Matt, and if you've been listening to us this morning, we've been talking about how many economists are now they're realizing that as we get closer to retirement, we have to stop chasing gains and we have to build foundations. We have to build floors to our retirement plan. And so if you did miss our first segment where we read this article from MarketWatch, you can give our office a call. We'll be glad to send you a copy of it. Our office number is 791-5773. But I do have something better than this article to offer this morning.
Nice.
I am so excited to say that I was able to partner with a guy named Brian Tracy, and there's other professionals across the country that are all in different industries. We partnered together and we wrote a book called The Ultimate Success Guide. And the book actually hit the bestseller list on 5 lists.
Good for you.
About 2 weeks ago. And so if you would like a copy of our book, The Ultimate Success Guide, give our office a call, give us your address and your information, and we'll mail you out a copy of the book. We'd love to give you a copy of the book.
Good.
Our office number is 791-5773.
And so it's just chapters from successful people on how to be successful.
Well, and not only how to be successful, but also, we all have different definitions of success, and so it's really quite interesting to read people that have such different in opinions on what is truly considered to be success.
Right.
It's a great book. I mean, it's a really good book, and we'd love for you to have a copy of it. Give our office a call. We'll get you a copy of it out next week.
You know what we haven't done this morning? We've been so busy talking about retirement. Forgot to say go Tigers. LSU plays Sunday night at 7 o'clock. I just got so busy talking retirement, we forgot. Go Tigers, 7 p.m. Sunday night on ESPN2 and Eagle 98.1, Tigers and UCLA.
Well, and also, Matt, we forgot to tell Presley good luck.
Oh, you're right.
Because Presley has earned the title of the Louisiana Junior High Rodeo Association Barrel Racing Champion.
Wow.
And because of that, she's earned the right to compete at the National Junior High Final Rodeo in Gallup, New Mexico. And so we'll be leaving later this weekend to hit the road and head to Gallup, New Mexico and take her to compete. And, I don't have my hopes up that she's going to win, but I think it is an incredible opportunity.
Oh, it's marvelous.
For an 11-year-old to go and compete with the best of the best. And that's really what that rodeo is about. I mean, they take the top 4 in every category in the state. And so you have to be in the top 4 to attend that rodeo. And so she is so excited
I
about
bet
it.
she is.
We want to wish her good luck. And if you want to follow her, you can go to our Facebook page, The Presley Group. Taylor is excellent about posting updates of Presley. A lot of times I send him her runs on video, and he'll post them on Facebook. And so if you want to follow Presley at the National Junior High Rodeo Championship, go to our Facebook page, The Presley Group, and like us, and you'll start getting the feeds whenever they come in. But we
that's
are wishing
fine.
her good luck.
That's awesome. Well, good luck, Press. So we ended last segment by saying, okay, what if you're a person who doesn't need income? I mean, we've
Right.
talked a lot about income. There's a lot of people talking about, building a plan for income. But we may be talking to someone this morning, Christy, who says, look, I'm older and I've got a great pension. I've got a great Social Security benefit coming in. My wife and I both worked, or all of your income needs are covered. So how can we help you? Well, our plans can be income plans, but at their very core, they're just great savings vehicles. Our plans, fixed indexed annuities, don't necessarily have to be designed to pay you income. They can be a marvelous alternative to a CD.
Well, and this week I actually met with 2 different people who were in that exact situation. Their money is in CDs sitting at the bank, making less than 0.5%.
Wow.
And in fact, one gentleman said, I've listened to you now since you kicked the Cajun clickers off 6 years ago. And so that was such an honor that he had stuck with us for that long. But, the thing is that there are plans that are designed for income strategies, but there also are other plans that are designed just to help you protect and grow your nest egg. Now, whether that nest egg is going to be used in the future for needs, things that come up, or whether it's going to be passed to heirs. I mean, the insurance companies really don't care, but we have plans that are great to give us principal protection and really above average earnings potential, and something we consider a savings. You just said that, these plans are really considered to be a savings plan. People always think that a fixed indexed annuity is an investment. And I want to talk about some investment terms and some tax terms, because I know you and I have both this week had a lot of questions about that. But, when we look at the word investment is where you are putting your money in an environment where you are accepting some type of risk so that you can reap a reward.
And the real key word there is that you're putting your money into that particular company or stock or whatever.
Yes.
Your money is actually invested in. You've bought into that company.
That's right. But in a fixed indexed annuity, your money is never placed into the market. So it simply goes into the insurance company's portfolio. And then the insurance company is going to take that money and they're going to invest it in their portfolio, but you are bearing no market risk. So you have to really, you have to change your thinking and understand that a fixed indexed annuity is simply not an investment. It is a savings account. It is a glorified savings account that is offered through insurance companies.
And these insurance companies will normally take their portfolio and invest the vast majority of it into things that they know are going to pay off. We're talking bonds. We're talking bonds held to maturity, by the way, U.S. Treasuries, muni bonds, things like that. And then with a small portion of the insurance company's portfolio, they simply run a hedge fund and they link. That's the word. They link your returns to the stock market. So that way, if the market tumbles, you've got security beneath you. The insurance company has that fixed portfolio beneath them. You never take losses to your principal or your annual gains, but you share in annual gains whenever the market rises because those options pay off.
And many of you may be asking, is now the time to consider a fixed indexed annuity if we believe that the market's going to go down? But the answer is, a fixed indexed annuity is going to often offer you a bonus, depending on what company, depending on what term, what length that we put your money with the company. They're going to offer you a bonus. And a lot of times that bonus can it can be anywhere from 5% to 8% right now. So that's a big boost on your account right now. But when you understand the power of how a fixed indexed annuity works, you can understand that going in uncertain times is not necessarily a bad thing, because, if we go in today and we link our returns to the S&P 500, and in 6 months from now, the S&P 500 takes a dive 20%. Well, if we don't have any guarantees, and a lot of times we do, but I'm assuming no income guarantees. If we don't have any income guarantees, the worst possible scenario that we see is a zero gain for the year. Now, keep in mind, we've already received a bonus in our account just for putting our money with the company and committing to a contractual term. So that bonus in itself is often more than what you're making currently in other savings vehicles.
That's a situation I ran into just briefly. A couple came in, they had a sizable CD. It was paying 0.75. So we did the math on how much that was paying, and then we pulled out the taxes. Then we added in a few bucks for the gas that they took to drive to the bank to open the CD and drive back home. When it was all said and done, they weren't making any money. I mean,
No,
not to
they're
speak of. And they came and sat down with me, and we had a great plan that offered them an 8% upfront bonus with the potential to grow their money as the market rises. Christy, I hate to say it this way, but it was a slam dunk.
Well, I mean, if you think the market's going down, does that mean it's a bad time to go into an indexed annuity? No, because you're getting the bonus up front. The index, if it should go down, and many think it will, okay?
Okay.
If it goes down, then those index levels are resetting every month for you. So when the index reaches its bottom, its floor, and takes the turn to start coming back, if you're in a fixed indexed annuity at that point, you're going to capture great gains as the index rises. And so there's really no perfect time. I mean, these products are, they've been around for a long time, and we're starting to see a lot of steam build with them. I mean, you're seeing more and more people know what is a fixed indexed annuity. I mean, think about it. How many people do we run into at our workshops today that have fixed indexed annuities versus, say, 5 years ago when we did a workshop?
Many more.
It's many more. And the reason why is because people are starting to become more educated. They're starting to put that effort in to learn how can they do things differently so that they can secure their retirement income.
And they're getting this message. I'm
Yes.
shaking the pages of the article we read at the beginning of the show. Want to retire? Stop chasing returns. The message is out there that chasing returns is what young people do. But Christy, you and I argue all the time. When you get to 50, you got to start saying, okay, now it's time to start income planning. So if you'd like that brochure about the myths and realities of annuities, if you would like one of Christy's books, simply call us, 791-5773. 791-5773. If you don't like to read but you like to meet people, then just come on down and meet us. When you call the office, we'll set up a free, no obligation appointment to meet me or Christy at 791-5773. Let's take a few moments and talk about some terms. You and I, we walk in here, we're type A people, and we just dive right into it. We start talking about IRAs and non-qualified and annuities and mutual funds. Twice this week, and I think once for you, we sat down with people who were older, 50s and 60s, and they had some questions that were very basic about terminology. So I thought we'd take a moment today just to break down a few important terms. What leads me to this is a gentleman said to me the other day, okay, so if I move my 401k, you're saying it becomes an IRA, right? Because he had left one job.
Yes.
And I said, you can move your 401k and it becomes an IRA. And he said, well, does that mean the IRA is safe if the market goes down? I said, well, that depends on what vehicle you're using. So IRA, let's start with that one. It means individual retirement account. That's how the IRS classifies it.
Well, I think, Matt, where some people don't get that terminology is that they are accustomed to saving into 401k accounts.
Right.
And so if we say 401k, we typically see stocks, bonds, mutual funds,
They're used to seeing that go up and
managed
down.
money, yes. And so when someone will leave a job or retire from a company, they typically are going to roll their 401k out of the company plan and they're going to shift it into their own plan. Now, when they do that, that is going to then turn into an IRA. Now, an IRA is simply the tax status of the money.
Correct.
So when you save the money into a 401k, you're saving it at a pre-tax mode. And when you move it into an IRA, it simply is staying in a pre-tax mode. So an IRA is not at all the investment vehicle. It is simply the tax status of your money.
Now, you may have heard the term Roth IRA. It still is classified as an IRA, but Roth simply means that your money grows tax-free. It's a marvelous thing. If you're in your 20s, 30s, or 40s, especially, even maybe your early 50s, Roth IRAs are powerful. The difference is in an IRA, your money grows, and then when you take it out, you've got to pay taxes. In a Roth IRA, when your money grows, you never, ever have to pay taxes. You never pay taxes on your gains, and it's a wonderful thing,
But
especially
again-
if you're younger.
But again, Matt, the Roth IRA is simply the tax status.
That's right. You can
It's
have a...
not the investment vehicle.
No.
The investment, when we say words like the investment vehicle, we're going to talk about things like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, CDs, fixed annuities, fixed indexed annuities, or even variable annuities. Those are the vehicles that account is held in.
Right.
Okay. But the tax status is going to be either IRA or Roth IRA in this circumstance.
I mean, we've even seen clients who have Roth IRAs held as CDs. Well,
Yes.
there's no risk there. There's not much reward. But you said it best. The vehicle is the investment mode. The label Roth or IRA or simple IRA or SEP IRA, that is simply the tax classification. Guy even asked me, well, what's the difference between a stock and a mutual fund? Well, a stock is one company. If I went out and bought a share of Apple, I own a piece of Apple. But if I buy a mutual fund, it may have Apple, Exxon, GE. So a mutual fund is just a basket of a lot of different stocks. So
Well-
that's an important thing for people to keep in mind too.
Yeah, and it's important too for you to know that you're never going to mix different types of taxable money. You know, like if you have an IRA, you're not going to mix an IRA account with a Roth IRA account. We want to keep them separate.
Correct.
And you do that simply because you don't want to pay taxes on money you don't have to. Okay. Now, if we have money in CDs or savings, and that money is after tax money, we saved it while we were getting paid a paycheck. You know, we did what Dave Ramsey said. We paid ourselves first.
Yes.
And we saved that money as we're working. And it's accumulated and accumulated and accumulated. And now, you know, we're reaching retirement age, and we want to use some of that money to help us with a guaranteed income. Well, that money is considered after-tax money. So the word you would hear associated with that is called non-qualified. And it simply means that it's after-tax money. And you never want to consider mixing after-tax money with pre-tax money. Because, hey, let's face it, none of us want to give Uncle Sam any more than what they're due. I mean, we're too worried now that they might take more dancing lessons. You know?
You're not kidding. That's an important note, though, about the mixing and the matching. But our fixed indexed annuity strategies that we use, they're vehicles.
Yes.
And we can put into that vehicle Roth IRAs, non-qualified money, that is after-tax money.
Yes.
We can go put in there simple IRAs, SEP IRAs. We have to keep the tax classification the same. But if you're thinking, oh, well, I have an IRA, they can't help me. Or I have after-tax money, they can't help me. I'm pretty sure that no matter how your money is classified by Uncle Sam, we can help you. Remember, that's the classification. The vehicle determines whether you are successful or whether you go off a cliff.
That's exactly right. You know, the thing is that right now, I really believe, and of course I'm not I'm not a fortune teller, but I believe that we are going to continue in the near future to see the market go up and down. I don't see it any other way, because we have a country that is in so much debt. I mean, they're not even, and our government's not even, they haven't stopped spending money, and until that happens and we start making some major changes, I don't see the debt going away. And on top of that, I see our obligations going up each year. We've got 10,000 baby boomers retiring every day.
Every single day.
Every single day.
Yeah.
I mean, these are people that are now going to be hitting the Social Security system. I mean, think about it. When Social Security was originated, we were never supposed to be on Social Security for 25 years. We were supposed to be on it for 5. And now what we're seeing is that people are retiring and they are pulling they're triggering that benefit at 62 years old, and they may live to see 100. So there's lots of things that are changing, and I think that is it's why we have to change as well. There's things that change that we can't control, but we can control our future. And the start to doing that is taking that step to say, I am going to learn. I'm going to learn what's out there, and I'm going to learn how can I make a difference. Because I'll tell you, the biggest thing I hear day after day after day is, I wish I would have met you 10 years ago. And I hear that so many times every week. And I've gotten cute about it. I say, well, God didn't mean you to be with me 10 years ago. He has you ready for me now. And so, and I do sincerely mean that. I mean that we pray that God's going to send us who he wants us to help.
Sure.
And now is when he wants us to help them. But the reality is that people, they say, I wish I would have known you 10 years ago. And they say, why has my broker never told me about this?
That's the one we so often hear. Well, we'll sit with a potential client. We'll talk for 30 or 45 minutes, and we'll explain, you share in gains in the good years. You always have protection. Your annual gains are locked in. These accounts have averaged about 5% per year, going back to the late 90s when these accounts were opened. And we'll pause, and they'll pause. And they'll say, well, why hasn't my XYZ, you name the broker, told me about this? And there's a very simple explanation.
Well, and that explanation, I really do believe boils down to money. Your brokers are their job is to keep your money invested in the market. Their job is to collect assets under management. And, an indexed annuity, a fixed indexed annuity, is not considered an asset under management because, again, remember, a fixed indexed annuity is not an investment. It is really a savings. And so, you just don't hear about a fixed indexed annuity being offered from a large brokerage firm to people. And it's that aha moment when they realize they've come in 3 or 4 times and they have really, studied and learned how these plans can make a difference. That aha moment is when my heart gets the biggest smile, because I know that we just made a difference. I've talked about this on the radio many, many times, and it is kind of it's a sad story for me, but, in my own family, I personally experienced my father losing a tremendous amount of money in the stock market.
In 2008?
No, in 2000.
Oh, in 2000.
And, once we got him to a point where we could move him, he became our client and was very happy. But the reality is he worked so many years at Exxon and saved that money and thought he was going to retire young and live a long life. And I have to tell you, my dad did not live a long life. And I think a big part of that is because he had this weight on him every day. I mean, the guilt that he felt every day that he lost so much money that was not in his control. And he trusted people. He trusted people to help him. And they didn't help. Sometimes we see good brokers, sometimes we see bad.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to put all brokers in the bad category, but I am going to say it is not their job to keep you invested in a savings vehicle.
Well, and I'll go back to this article in conclusion. Want to retire? Stop chasing returns. And the gentleman who wrote this article for MarketWatch says, look, when you're in the accumulation phase, you can afford risk. But as you get to 50 and beyond, you have to think, how can I begin thinking about a retirement income strategy? Now, in closing on this segment, the IRS, it's always the IRS, right, Christy?
Yes.
They've got rules, and one of their rules is if you're working at a job, you have to be over 59 and a half before you can do what we call an in-service distribution. That is, before you can take money out of your 401k and move it into an IRA, you have to be typically over 59 and a half. Some companies make you wait longer, but some will let you. So if you're still working but you're 60 or 61 and you're worried about the market, call us. We'll help you find out whether or not you can do an in-service distribution. Now, once you leave a job and you are gone, then you are free to move the 401k into an IRA in one of our plans. So if you're 53 and you've got that old 401k back there and the market's at an all-time high, now's a great time to come see us. We could move that 401k into an IRA, into one of our plans, and get you that guaranteed rate of return so that when you retire in your 60s, you know you've got that steady stream of income coming in.
Well, it's just creating that security, you know, the security in any economy. And that's what we want to do, is we want to create security in any economy. Now, if you'd like to schedule a complimentary visit to come in and meet with either me or Matt, give us a call. If you'd like just to have a copy of the retirement, the annuity myths and realities, give us a call. We'll be glad to send you one out. Or if you'd like a copy of my book, The Ultimate Success Guide, again, give us a call. Our phone number is 791-5773, 791-5773.
You can always visit us online, learn more about our business, and you can request a free consultation through the website at safemoneyplan.net.
And don't forget Facebook. Don't forget, like
That's
us on
right.
Facebook.
Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. We're getting cool now and hip. We're learning to say what all the kids say.
Well, we have a new marketing director.
He makes us do it. All right, we'll be back. We'll wrap things up here in just a moment. It's Your Money Matters. Our website is safemoneyplan.net. Back in a moment on Talk 107.3 FM. Are you looking for guaranteed retirement income? Call the Presley Group, 791-5773. Guaranteed retirement income. Turn your nest egg into a guaranteed stream of income that will last as long as you and your spouse are both living. Call us at 791-5773 or visit safemoneyplan.net. Guarantees are based on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing company.